All right, so it comes down to this, the finale. Our Nest of Baali has their meeting with Jason Newberry, and then their plan goes fully into motion for the rest of the city. It is going to change things in Chicago for quite some time, and I was not expecting them to take this course of action. However, I do understand why. The nuclear option, as they called it, is definitely the more surefire way to handle a situation. It's an end, but it leaves the city open for a lot of new things. Now it's time for them to have their conversation with Jason Newberry at exit.
I'll slide into the booth. What's up, buddy?
Oh, friends, I'm really glad you're here. This is awesome. Yeah, shit's hitting the fan, guys. Like, this is, like, I like chaos. I like, this is going beyond my, like, comfort level. Like, I don't know.
So what happened? They went down there, and what happened?
So they jumped the gun and went down, and I guess, like, only half the ghouls that they wanted to go with them actually showed up. And from what I got from Sierra, because she made it out, because fucking of course she did, Sierra went down
BFF.
with Mitchell, her new kid, and they had Yesenia, they had Rosa went down, they had Alexa and Damien. I don't know what the fuck they found. The way that Sierra put it, the things that attacked everybody were, something was wrong. They're weird, like gaunt and like talking weird voices, like completely devoid of anything that would leave somebody to believe they were human. It was insane. They fought them, several of them, and some other members of the city that we didn't really know were still around. Yesenia didn't make it back. Alexa waited until like literally just now to reappear. So I don't know what the fuck happened. Her and Alexa and Sierra got paired. Not Sierra. Alexa and Rose and Yesenia got paired together for one run, and then it was Sierra and Damien, and then Mitchell and Rosa. Mitchell and Rosa both made it back. Sierra made it back. Alexa just popped it back up on the radar now, but Yesenia's gone, Damien's gone, and Critias lost his fucking mind. Like, lost his fucking mind.
Damien
That's
didn't
really
make
not
it?
good.
Yeah, no, he did not make it back. Sierra did, though, which is something that really pissed Critias off. But according to her story, and apparently this old fucker believed her, they just got jumped by a ton of them and had to fight their way out. Sierra's really, she's at her hotel right now. She's fucked up. But Critias is causing a shit storm. Rosa came back and threw her lot with Critias, and Critias pulled his entire backing from Jackson. And Annabelle and Dusable, of all fucking people, and Rosa decided to pull sway and say that he's not fit after Critias pulled his backing. So now Sierra's playing the field, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some serious, like, upset people at the home front.
Well, what does any of that have to do with the prince?
Because it's happened under Jackson's affair.
Yeah.
So
but it
how
could have happened
likely
under
is
anybody, right?
Sure. No, it definitely could have. But Critias is pissed off at Jackson because apparently somebody convinced Critias that this was because of Jackson this went down and nobody dealt with it before it got this bad.
It's above my pay grade.
Well,
So it's looking pretty likely at this point that there's going to be a change in leadership.
might be, but what I'm hearing right now is that apparently Jackson knew about these things because somebody like told Sierra and like Alexa about it, and they looked into it, and Jackson said there was nothing there. Apparently there was. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Something I'd like to ask you. Any idea who was here looking for us?
What are you talking about?
Apparently somebody was here looking for us.
I just got here a few minutes before you guys showed up. Somebody's looking for you?
Yeah,
then
the bouncer said something.
Can we find out who it was?
No, that's okay. No, I mean it could have been any number of things. Obviously, it wasn't. Clearly wasn't related to our thing because the bouncer took care of them.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's probably an art thing, tattoo thing.
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. So court's like a fucking mess.
So what's next? Are they having a meeting, or what are they going to do?
Don't know. Right now, it's on Annabelle and Critias because apparently they hold the most sway. Obviously, I know that Sierra's my bestie. She's trying to maneuver as much as she can. Like she's the one who told Critias, like, yeah, Jackson knew that these things existed already. He didn't want to deal with it. Apparently, it was like from a couple weeks ago. He found out it was a meeting with him and Sierra and Alexa or something like that, where it got brought up that they knew about this, and Jackson's like, don't worry about it. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
A definite mistake on his part, but
Yeah,
see how it plays out.
No idea. I don't think he's gonna go down without it swinging. Like, I don't think this is far from over. Let's put it that way. Like, even without like Critias and Annabelle, he's still got other supporters. Like Rosa's trying to throw her a lot, but she's a gangrel, doesn't count for much. He's still got like his plan. He's still got the legacy of his sire. There's still a lot of stuff in the city that's in his corner. It's just a lot of it got pulled. And DeSable's trying to speak up. Like, who cares what fucking DeSable thinks? The guy didn't have a seat on the council. Like, there is no Tremere
He's
seat.
not even officially there.
Right. Yeah, there's no Tremere seat. So unless they want to go for the throne old school, I don't really think there's going to be a shift of the guard. I think it's going to be a protracted Cold War, sure, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. I mean, if it were, we'd have club seats change every other week.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does cost his organization, and given what's in the city right now, that's going to cost us a lot of people.
Yeah, any theories on what the hell it was that was down there that attacked?
No idea. If I had to guess, I think it was probably like members of the club that lost all their shit, all their marbles completely, and just went completely feral.
Okay. Wow. I mean,
Couldn't
for
tell
there to
you.
be that many of them, though, that seems.
Yeah,
Congregating,
that's a
right?
huge fucking problem. Which is why if Jackson knew about it and didn't do shit about it, therein lies the danger to the city, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Oof. Well, so what are you gonna do now?
I'm gonna lay low and abstain from voting just to see where things are playing out. Maybe give it a nudge here and there. We still got fucking Genghis and his people pushing hard. You know,
That's
out in
true.
the collar counties and shit like that, and that's causing an issue. Yeah, it's just been nuts. It's just been nuts, and we still got the Sabbat in the city, as far as I'm aware. Like, people have tried to jump me twice in the past week, but it's me. You know, I mean, come on, I'm not that easy.
Yeah, you take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why you're in the position you're in.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. So yeah, Damien's lost. So that sucks. I didn't see that coming. That was something that struck me. And Yesenia, I thought that one was a lot more resourceful. I didn't think she'd go down, but I guess I was wrong.
Well, I mean, if they got jumped,
I
anything
guess.
can happen. You know, when you're not expecting something or overwhelmed, anything can happen.
While you guys are there, Preston will get a text message from Quincy. It says, Yesenia has been delivered. We've paid our debts in full.
I will give him back the same big thumbs up that he gave me when I told him that we were done with our thing.
Jason's like, what's something cool?
No. We we were out of town, luckily, and so we're just moving something.
Do you guys need a place to stay, by the way? Like, I can, not my place, obviously, but I can make sure you got a place.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate that, but we already got something going.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we're good.
It's just perfect timing. It worked out good. So
Say,
As you're aware, which is probably why we're still friends. We are a resourceful bunch.
yeah, definitely. So what do you guys think about the current president? Should he go or should he stay? Like, where would you guys throw your lot?
well, I mean, you have to look at what's the alternative. Like, if it's not him, okay, then who's the new president?
One of two people best suited for the job, either my bestie or me.
Right.
I don't have much sway, so it doesn't matter. My opinion is being what I am.
Well,
Right. I heard you cash in your boon from Rosa already. So, but we have two people here who haven't. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
there's currency on the table, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think, if he really knew about what was going on and didn't do anything, that's sort of a problem, right? And obviously things recently have been getting worse here. I mean, we haven't even been here that long. We've seen it get less and less safe, and that's kind of what like the main job of the president is, right? I mean, it's like the safety of the members who exist here. So I don't know. Maybe it is time for a change.
So if you had to throw your back behind somebody, who would it be?
Well, I mean,
Don't
we're
break my heart,
friend-
Preston. Don't
we're
break my heart.
friends, right? I mean, we're friends.
We are friends, yeah.
You
But
know, so
I sense a butt coming.
I mean, I just think something like that, even though we're friends, even though we're good friends and everything, I mean, business is business, right? So I mean, something like that, I would think there'd be some kind of a compensation.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's called it's called you get favors from the new guy in the office, right? You know, back patting and scratching out the wazoo.
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously, you know, somebody new coming in, we need enterprising individuals to help staff the new administration, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Clearly,
The only issue I see with it would really be that it puts this big old circular thing right in the middle of your back and puts you in much more danger.
let me tell you something,
Then you're gonna know.
Sullivan. And he gives you this like the adults are talking look. Let me tell you, Sullivan. As a Primogen and as an upstanding member of this city, I've had a target on my back since I can remember.
Sure.
I am so good at what I do. People want me dead more than a prince. Like, I'm hated. People hate me because I'm so good at what I do. So, I mean, it's not something I
Fair
wouldn't
enough.
be used to.
That's fair. I was just putting it out there. That's
Yeah,
all.
I appreciate your concern, but hey.
You just have to think, though. I mean, almost along those same lines with how much of a mess things are now. I mean, not that you wouldn't turn things around. I have all the faith in the world that you would. But I don't know. Do you think now's the right time?
I think now's a great time because I can just swipe in and I can shut off that whole like anarch thing right off the bat because Damien's dead. Hey, the guy who did you wrong is done, and the guy who put him in power is no longer in power. Let's make a deal. You know, that would be cleaned up right quick, and then I'd be like, hey, the Sabat one is all dead.
That's a hell of a
turn the
bargaining
anarchs
chip
against
for
Sabat.
sure.
And then we just deal with the other issues by laying low for a bit and reestablishing ourselves quietly because obviously this kind of shook things up. So honestly, I think people will be so busy scrambling to fill the void of the people who are gone and try to get the resources that have been kind of left now available than they would be to fight against somebody who's new in the administration. This would be a great time.
Yeah, you bring up some good points. Absolutely. Yeah.
My only problem is like, I know that Sierra's like got her eyes on the prize. You know what I mean? Like, how would I let her down softly? That I don't know yet.
It would be tough. I mean, considering
You could make her your second.
Ooh, but would I?
Is there really such a thing?
Oh, is the second to me? No, but I get where he's coming from.
Right. I mean the position. She didn't. Yeah, you got it. I'm nobody.
What? No, I mean, sure. I mean, we could. Anybody would be an improvement over the bean counter, right? Sovereign is literally just an accountant who tries to middle manage.
Right.
We could do so much better. I think Sierra would be good at it, but I think she'd constantly be scheming, and that would keep me a little busy, unless we got rid of her.
well, she's going to be scheming anyways. I don't know. This may make you feel uncomfortable, but I really feel at this point, especially with all the recent now losses of membership, that she's kind of an asset.
And it's nothing a couple of sips couldn't handle
Yeah,
to ensure loyalty.
I'll
you
think
know.
about it. But
I mean, who takes over for her if she were to, let's just say if she were to assume leadership.
Rosa. The Gangrel don't have much of a say anyways.
It's just a
like
lot of
her
moving
position.
pieces,
yeah,
Just spitballing.
you give me
And
a
who
lot to
fills
think
in
about.
for you then? If you assume leadership, who takes your spot?
Oh, nobody. I could do both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. You give me a lot to think about. I'm gonna go think for a day or two before I make any moves.
Absolutely. I
Which
think
you
should.
guys kind of keep your heads down.
Absolutely.
It's just screwed up out there. It's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. So just stay safe. If you need something, let me know. Like I said, if you need a place to stay, I can get something for you, right? Yeah, we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Be safe, Jason.
Yeah, and he'll kind of make his way out of the booth. You guys a nod. He'll just kind of to the waitress behind the bar or the bartender, and he'll head downstairs and leave.
God, can you guys imagine?
Holy shit.
I don't see how he would do any worse than any of the other princes that this city's had.
Oh, it would be entertaining. That's all.
He's a sociopath because he's a sociopath. What's the Venture's excuse?
That's fair. That's fair. Because there's more money in it, I guess.
I've heard rumor stories of Loden and how he rose to prominence. Can't be much worse. Yeah. Well, burn half the city. I mean, if the stories are to be believed, right? How could it be worse?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's fair.
He publicly murders his enemies. Or he privately murders his enemies. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. Like he said, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. Even if he does decide to do that,
I fully support the current, just as much as I will support the future. We'll just put it that way. I have no particular taste in this regard.
Nope, it has very little bearing on our interests. So
you have a couple of nights to just kind of do what you want to do. Is it just going to be setting up that haven a little more securely and looking at other stuff?
Yeah, but also I'm going to try to, I don't know if this is going to help or not, but like I'm going to try to like use my contacts and just people that I know to try to find out who the hell came here looking for us.
So between your network of contacts and Jimmy, it seems like people showed up in, like, oddly enough, one vehicle. And there were some people who mentioned Our Lady of Suffering before they came and jumped or tried to get in here and start shit. Mm-hmm. They were looking for you guys. And we can easily, like, with your knowledge of how Blackwaters have worked in the past, it was some of Nerissa's people looking for you.
Probably the same people that firebombed our haven.
Possibly.
Should have brought some fucking sticks or something. Jesus.
Well, after discussion, Jimmy had like the other 10 people that he wants to get inducted into the cult with him that fought off these people.
Oh, cool. Well, then we should induct some new members into the cult. I think over the next couple of days we will induct 3 additional members. And by induct I mean feed our blood and turn them into ghouls.
Okay.
So that they also can beat the fuck out of whoever comes looking for us.
Not an issue, actually. It's a lot of pomp and circumstance because that's how you brought Jimmy in. So Jimmy forces them to go through the same type of shit. You know, the mysteries and this, all this other shit. He makes it very like, this is a grand thing that you're being slowly brought into. Yeah, definitely. You guys start essentially breeding this cult, and you have your 4 lieutenants. Like you have the ones that you ghoul who are bound with you guys within the week, obviously, and they start talking to more people. Essentially what you start gathering is this lower class, desperate for purpose set of people that have been looking for something to fill like their sense of purpose in their lives. And essentially it's just like any other cult. It brings people in to give them a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a sense of like, this is a place where you want to be with and people will take care of you. And they start fostering this in all these new members that come in. As you do this, chaos erupts across Chicago. You have the Hyatt issue that goes down, but on top of that, reading between the lines in news reports and what you're hearing out of the occult world, the Black Hand has showed up. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Because parts of the neighborhood have like a brief like flare up of odd activity that's going down, like in a cult, like, oh wow, the energy just feels off there. It's because they're fucking coming in and destroying wells and totally fucking up the metaphysical landscape of the city as they're doing it. Because they're just like hammer and nails, man. Like every problem is a nail. They're just beating the shit out of it ritualistically. So they come in and start just destroying all those, which is causing issue for the Tremere, because the Tremere are using various lines of power that fall throughout the city, and those are getting disrupted by all the wells getting fucking just snuffed out one at a time. So that's causing issues. DuSable's getting upset. Not that you guys give a shit. You do find out, though, that from Quincy over the couple of days, that Quincy managed to get to Alexa and paid her off to stake the shit out of Yesenia and deliver her to a spot that she can be picked up with. Because remember, when he did that ritual, he found out that Alexa's the one who would definitely take her out. So he made it happen. He let you know that it was a 2-part deal. DuSable got the down payment of going, hey, I know your secret. I'm not going to say it as long as you do this. But to make it sweet, on the back end, I'll give you a Salubri. And now DuSable's been completely paid off and is basically, you know, you don't have to worry about that loose end coming at you. It's been taken care of. The court situation is really, really tense because you have Annabelle basically pulling her support from Jackson, but Jackson still has enough support with other members of the city where if people just kind of turn on that, it would destabilize things in the middle of a fucking crisis. So people aren't moving against Jackson quite yet. Sierra's obviously making moves to make more allies and cashing in boons and offering them. Jason is just watching things unfold. He's not getting involved right now. But as things start to kind of creep across the city, the Sabbat attacks worsen for a small bit of time, then they die down. Essentially, as the Black Hand sweeps in and starts taking these areas out, the Sabbat gets pushed out further and further towards the edges of the city because the Black Hand's just fucking him up and pushing him back. You've got the Prince trying to just solidify his holdings now and making sure the people who do support him in the city are safe. And because of First Light still being here, they're laying low. There are no official, like, large, like, meetings called that are going to be at Elysium's. People still show up now and again, but it's very quiet, very terse. It's almost like a whose side are you on without actually asking whose side you're on. It depends on who you talk to and where you sit. Ironically, Jason's a neutral party. He doesn't seem to have been taken aside yet, so he's like one person that people can talk to in Elysium and not be worried that, oh, this is a signal that I've aligned with such and such block that's arising within the city. So things are really kind of tense politically. In terms of the Hunter problem, it ramps up. You're seeing a lot more activity around the churches as these wells are taken care of, and kind of like all that excess energy as ritualists, as they're getting shut down, has to go somewhere. So it disperses into the area and causes some minor issues. On top of that, in the occult circles, there's some new cult rising in town that has nothing to do with you guys. Apparently, there's something called Arca, the Sons of Arca, that are taking hold.
Okay.
And it's starting
You
to
said
be
that
this.
has nothing to do with us?
Well, it's not your cult, anyways.
I was going to say that's
But
got
these
some shit to do with us.
these individuals are buying all kinds of like old occult books, like first editions, etc., and throughout the circles that you have run through as a archaeologist to get old, like not necessarily relics, but old antiquities, redundant antiquities that were related to the occult throughout the ages, especially that relate to Chicago and its mystical landscape.
I will definitely keep an eye on that through my my mask, obviously, because of my archaeologist stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to move on. I'll let them know, obviously, too.
We let them, yeah, by the way, guys, that demon that we freed, still around.
I'm not even going to say that. I'm just, new cult. Just give the ads up.
Sweet.
So, as things unfold with the Black Hand, is the idea you guys just lay low and let that get done and just hide it out?
Yeah, so what I'll be doing with my time is I'll be inducting these new members into our cult, feeding their head full of all the bullshit that goes along with it. Even so far as like everyone that becomes part of the inner sanctum will get the symbol of our veracity, of our power tattooed on their back or whatever. Like I'll give him the full spectrum of horseshit to believe in, to know that they're part of this, like they're part of a thing, a real thing. I mean, it's bullshit, but it's as real as they'll ever get. You know, even the guy that we live with, he'll get an honorary title in the new, you know, in the new regime, whatever fucking bullshit that I feed these fucking nobodies. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be like inundating them with the philosophy of like whatever appeals to their like male douchebag egos, like whatever makes them feel powerful, whatever makes them feel a part of the group, of like not even a part of the group, but like the guys that are the group. That's what I'll be doing. And I'll be using, you know, my charisma, you know, to dupe them. But the truth is, they do get a piece of that power, so it's real enough. You know, they get that blood, they get that potence that fucking runs through their veins or whatever. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing with my time.
Okay, so
I'll be doing the same. The addition that I'll be doing will be establishing a new touchstone, because otherwise I will be a ravaging beast in here.
Yeah, you will. It will take some time, but you will eventually get the bartender upstairs to be your new touchstone. We'll just have to figure out. Well, not really, but essentially, it's like what in her humanity is calling out to you that you tether to that becomes a new conviction. Like when it came to Preston, he had to find a new conviction as well for the new touchstone when he dealt with, you know, the woman that he kind of used to replace his former touchstone. Is there anything Preston's doing in particular?
I'm just staying plugged into the political stuff.
Okay.
And just kind of playing my role as Tordor, you know, interested in what's going on, and, you know, kind of acting like I'm maybe maneuvering to see if I can better my own position or station in the city throughout all this one. Really, I just want to know what's going on.
As a tour, you find out that Brett Stryker goes missing probably about a week after all this goes down. He doesn't show back up to gatherings. Nobody can contact him. It's almost like Elvis sightings around the city. People are like, oh yeah, I saw Brett at this club, blah, blah, blah. But whenever it comes to substantiating that, nobody can actually prove that he was there or he wasn't. He becomes almost like a ghost. But as that happens, you get word that essentially when people start hunting down Brett, they stop talking about it, essentially. Like, oh yeah, I saw Brett, blah, blah. And then like a week later, they're silent. They don't talk about it at all. Somebody's quieting people up. You do note that since you guys are just laying low, and that's the goal here, some weird shit goes down in Lake Michigan at night. Like, there's weird thoughts like around court, like, hey, did somebody hire some people to go out to Lake Michigan like on a barge and like divers? Like, what the fuck was that about? And nobody knows what it was about. Nobody can pinpoint who it was. Anytime somebody looks into it, the trail inexplicably goes dead. Then a couple days after that, an entire team of divers from Chicago that specialize in like doing like forensic diving in Lake Michigan are found dead. All committed suicide supposedly in their homes.
Not cool, guys. Not cool.
The 26th comes and goes. Nothing catastrophic happens throughout the city. But trying to work into other connections and areas of mortal like influence on society gets really difficult for a long time, because it seems like all those channels are stressed and flooded. And there's this feeling of dread that hangs over the city for a while until it slowly starts to die down. And after it starts to kind of slow, you notice that other Tordor aren't coming to release him anymore. Brett Stryker shows back up, but Portia now is no longer showing up. The cult that you guys know and kind of have your people like having ears out for, Our Lady of the Suffering, that cult's gone. It gets wiped out in the city. Completely destroyed. Ashfinders start showing up. More thin bloods like actual Dustborn start showing up and start establishing themselves outside the city. Slowly but surely, the fight with the Anarchs starts to cool down over time. But the city is still on edge because of its internal politics are just really rife for problems. Effectively, you guys head off the problem by doing nothing outside of calling in the nuke option. After that's
what you do when you call in a nuke, right?
Yeah, after you guys, you just sit there and lay low and work on your own shit outside of the city proper, technically. What happens is, when the Black Hand comes in and starts wiping all the wells and sterilizing them, Nerissa starts losing power. At the same point in time, her cults are getting attacked by all the others in the city. So she's losing power, losing power, losing power. They're all getting targeted because Helena's pulling strings in the background. Her and Helena go at it in some semblance. Helena retreats for a time. Nerissa's not heard from. While that's happening, when Nerissa's being occupied by a fucking Methuselah, the Black Hand gets the fucking body out of the lake. And then has everybody kill themselves because they need more wraiths. Because why not?
Fair dues.
Chicago's still on the brink politically. There's a lot of infighting going on, and it's really, really not stable. Give it like another couple of months, and Chicago will be that city where people walk into a LARP and go, hey, why is there no hierarchy? Here's why. Here's your sign. Yeah. Shit like this happens. But I didn't think you guys would use that option at all, to be completely honest. I thought you'd try to go out with a bang of glory and fuck it, let's raise this guy into the sun. Didn't happen. I thought you would go with a Hyatt plan that Nate brought up. Didn't happen.
It was a good plan, though. Just would have been expensive.
we go the quiet route.
Well, you know, I think really fundamentally what is important is we like remember the fucking purpose that we serve in the first place. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of the stuff that we've done has just been sort of like reactive to things we've encountered. But like, truthfully, like fundamentally, we need to go with like, what is the sure bet? And what was the unsure bet was like this long, convoluted, fucking Rube Goldberg machine plan with the Hyatt. Like, you know, who knows if that's going to succeed or fail. And like, honestly, it probably would have been somewhat successful, but there's no way it would have been fully successful. So that's where I was kind of like, I'm going to go with caution here instead of like, this is, you know.
Yeah, and let's be real. We've stayed true to the characters since day one. We have never stuck our face into the bullshit. We've always manipulated around it, coerced it, and made things happen kind of in the shadows. And we stuck with that even through the end. Yeah, and I say it's impressive to play a long-term Baali game and none of us die, nor do none of us really get into combat very often.
So I seriously thought I was going to kill at least one person tonight, like with the firebombing. Like I was like, somebody's dying during the day. Like that's just how it is. Like they basically said, fuck you, Nerissa. She's like, oh, fuck me. Cool. I'm burning you out. Like that's literally her response. Like, hey, I gave you a chance. Granddaddy wanted it. Now you're fair game.
We got to go.
And honestly, if you guys hadn't had put together that cult with Jimmy and let Jimmy like do his thing, like I was waiting for somebody to go, Jimmy, don't do this, man. Like just, it's you're special. But you guys let Jimmy go and he gathered a whole fucking cult. So when the Our Lady of Suffering people came by and went to go to town, if it was just Jimmy, he'd be fucked. And then they would have come after you guys. Because Jimmy had like 10 other people with them, it's like, yeah, we're not fucked anymore. You're fucked. Because they're all mortals, they're normal mortals, and they're like, yeah, they do sacrifice, they're occultists. Jimmy's people are more rough and tumble. Like these are like bikers and like street people, like they're gonna fuck people up. So Jimmy, like that really helped a lot. Going immediately on that second haven also helped a lot. That was probably what saved you the most trouble right there. But you guys already killed had killed most of Nerissa's people. With the raid that happened at the Hyatt, I thought you guys were going there. I'm like, that's a potential fucking problem. I thought you sincerely would try to go just to double check your shit and make sure nobody saw anything they shouldn't see. No. What happened to Yesenia? Alexa went into one of the side quarters with her and just staked her ass. Like, bink, bye. Mm-hmm. That's done. I'm leaving. And then literally
Sierra just didn't make it out.
Sierra actually helped kill him.
I'm just really glad.
Because
really glad
she knew
no one came like wanting us to go.
Right. Yeah, because you were players, but you weren't seen as big players, and you weren't here when this got explained. But the reason nobody started saying like, "Wow, those guys are doing some really impressive work," Helena was pulling strings so people didn't notice. They weren't paying attention to you.
She was the reason why I wouldn't have wanted to go, because otherwise I would have been like, "Oh yeah, you know, we probably should go. Maybe we should go." And then I remembered, "Oh wait, wait a minute. Portia said this is going to be a shit show, so no, we don't want to go." So it's really we have
Yeah,
I have heard a thing.
And had it not been for Portia, we wouldn't have manipulated a massive fucking political vote.
That's true.
Yeah. Portia has had Helena's had her fingers in this pie the whole fucking time, like just manipulating shit behind the scenes. And they actually saw Brett Stryker feeding her ass.
He was feeding her.
Yeah, they caught him, but they didn't say anything. Like, oh, we see that shit? They ain't saying shit, and just kept walking.
Nope.
But yeah, I never thought this was going to be one of those situations where I'm like, hey guys, all right, we're closing out the chapter on this chronicle by you guys waiting it out. And you guys fucking called him back up. Good job. And just sat back and kept your heads down. And you outlived your enemies. Congratulations. So where you're positioned at, as this all kind of goes down and comes to a close, you have this growing cult on the north side of the city. You have ties to a lot of the other cults that at least you know about them, what they're doing right now, between the Ashfinders, the Ashfinders, the Church of Cain, the Shalamites basically got decapitated whenever the rabbi got killed. So that kind of kills them off. And there's a bunch of other smaller cults that are springing up. And obviously there's going to be more Bahari that could be coming in. But the city got decimated. So many people died over the course of this, some of which you guys arranged, willingly or not. And the city's in political turmoil. So it's chaos. Congratulations. Like, you survived. I don't know what to say. Like, this is the first time I've had a game come to a close like this.
Yeah.
There was no, like, yeah, we killed the bad guy. Like, well, not really, but we arranged it. So
right.
Hey, we accomplished our goals, and there's plenty more for later.
Yeah,
like I say, we didn't step out of the soul of these characters. We kept true to them till the end.
Yeah,
I thought it was an awesome game.
No doubt. I'm just shocked. Like, that's the first time I've been like, there's gonna be a fight. Some shit's gonna go down. No, sir.
And I did not frenzy every game session like I do with every other game.
Oh, dude, you guys. I've never seen people use presence so effectively as a fucking weapon in my life. This is some bullshit. I'm like, oh, they'll fight a Shadow Lord. No, they won't. Presence. Yeah. Oh, look, there's BSD. No, I got daunt and manipulation. Fuck you. You're gonna run away scared. I'm like,
this is why the fucking Toreador are so dangerous. Like,
absolutely.
Screw the Baali. This is why the Toreador are so dangerous.
I thought this was a lot of fun and awesome to do because we had a trio of completely non-combat characters try to find and actually succeed in using creative ways to go through their problems, either socially or just by outthinking the issue. You know, and working your way around it, which was really awesome to me because usually by this time in a Chronicle, somebody started buying physical disciplines and like doing like, I'm gonna go buy some firearms or some fucking melee. That didn't happen. I'd
have frenzied 5 or 6 times already.
You bought a Data Drive, Jeff.
I did. I bought a Data Drive.
And that was a big deal. I actually had 2 plans coming in tonight whenever Nerissa summoned you via Oneromancy to have a chat at the old temple. If you said yes, she was going to arrange to have you meet with her, and you were going to have to shunt power to another nest to work as a link to the main one because it was being attacked essentially. And she was going to have you go to Quincy and either bring him on board or start telling her where all those nests are at so she could send BSDs to kill them. And that would be your foot soldiers essentially. You guys would have to tell where you want to put these BSDs that are working with him to erase this corrupted individual. Because for the BSDs, like, it's apparently, obviously, one of the urge worms is in this thing. So they want to wake it up as they've been deluded by her. So that would have been fun. That would have been interesting. And it would have been devastating to the world. They wouldn't have all woken up, but that one would have. And that was not going to be pretty.
That's no good.
So, well, your definition of good might be different. It was good for her. And that's a wrap. A bit of a short episode, but really, once they decided to sit upon this course of action and just let it ride out, there wasn't a lot to be done at that point. It's just they sat back in their new haven outside the city limits and just kind of watched from afar as the Black Hand started sweeping through the city and shutting down nests. I know that in some cases this may be a bit of a ending on a quiet, climax essentially, but really, if you think about it, for the Baali, especially this coterie, their whole goal is to remain undiscovered, unseen and not cause a disruption. If they had been Nergali, or if they had sided with Nerissa, we would have had a lot more explosive end, and they would probably be being hunted right now through the city streets of Chicago. They chose the safe side out and pulled back, let others do the dirty work for them, not get involved, and live to see another day, essentially. Mind you, the landscape of Chicago is incredibly changed. The political structure is going to suffer a Cold War for quite some time. Jackson's reign is going to be most assuredly under fire, and there's still a lot of issues to be resolved. Plus, a lot of members of the city are gone. Critias is on the brink after losing Damien, which was a bit of a shocker. And really, you got Sierra now, you got La Sombra, effective members of Camarilla, they're going to leap on the venture weakness right now in the city, or the perceived venture weakness in the city. So there's a lot of stories still to be told in this Chicago. However, I don't know if we'll be revisiting them for various reasons, but it's always there, it's always waiting. This game was a lot of fun. We took a track that I didn't think we would take. Honestly, when we started out this campaign, I thought they would go with Atal Shen and start working towards their awakening, but they surprised me. They wanted to be Mulakim, they wanted to stay away from that and keep them shut down, which to me was interesting. And it was a lot of fun, definitely a lot of fun, especially with these three characters. However, I still think it would have been a blast to have them try to wake everything up and work against the city in that capacity. It would have been a lot of fun. But I'm happy where this campaign ended. I'm happy that we all had a great time doing it. I'm happy that you all tuned in to watch it. It was a lot of fun. And while we'll be taking a break away from World of Darkness stuff for a bit of time, when we do come back, I hope you guys all have just as much fun with the net stuff we play. Anyways, we'll see you all later. Thanks for tuning in.